Hello, John.
Hey, Alex.
Do you know what I hate?
What do you hate?
The holidays.
Oh, why do you hate the holidays?
Because we're here on John and Alex Hate Stuff, first and foremost, to praise his name. That's right, the big guy. The little tiny aliens for the movie theaters, too. So I have to ask you something, John. Is this revenge for me making you watch Suburban Sasquatch? Was that the thinking here?
No, actually,
Okay.
I made you watch Step Up 3D. Not the same thing. Step Up 3D, of course, celebration, joyous, magical. But I know you didn't like it. And so I just thought we'd do something kind of silly and fun.
I had the thought while watching this of, one, the amount of noise they make is very similar to the of Suburban Sasquatch.
Yes.
But it really is a coin flip, which is amazing. It's just amazing that it can happen. That I'm like, is this movie worse than Suburban Sasquatch? And I think it is.
I think you're right. I think it is. But it's like,
amazing.
it's worse, but I like it more.
I'm there with you. I do like this more than Suburban Sasquatch. But it's bad. Like it's
terrible.
like really low quality everything.
Yes.
And not even like for like a price point. Like they didn't put lights on. Like they just like no.
Well, this is a movie made. Feeders 2, much like Feeders, is made by these two brothers, the Polonia brothers.
Oh, they tried to overthrow the slave rulers in Grecian in 534 BC.
But
It just that name sounded like some kind of slave revolt.
absolutely, yeah. It's specifically slavers. That name sounds like a slaver name.
No, a slave revolt. Like
Oh,
it would
slave
be
revolt.
like
Oh.
like yeah, like that would be like Apollonius of Bloop 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 fought down the
But Mark and John Polonia, and they have made a ton of movies. Mark Polonia has probably directed something like 80 movies. I think was his IMDb thing. They made tons of them. John, unfortunately, died in 2009 or something like that. Like really right before his 40th birthday. So died pretty young. But Mark is down for a while, but kept going. Makes movies for other people at this point too. Other sort of not quite Asylum Entertainment level. Well, I don't want to say level, but not like Asylum Entertainment, but that same kind of low rent stuff. And he just cranks out these movies. And they have he and his brother in these early days would just I have an idea, let's make a movie. And one thing that's, before we get too far into it, that I find so fascinating is in the credits, I fully expected to be Polonia, 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 Polonia. And it's not. This is just full of they have a crew. They have other people they're working with. And there's part of it that's that's cool. That made me kind of excited that you got your buddies together to do this. And it wasn't like that, oh, I just did everything myself or ourselves.
And you're right, that is cool. Except, how could you have this many people involved and have it look this shit?
Yes. No, that is because no one knows what they're doing. That's the answer. is that everyone's learning and having made some terrible movies myself and terrible this, that, and the other, or I should say shorts. Sometimes it's just people are happy to be involved. And I mean, obviously, no one's going hey, your performance there lacked nuance. They don't care. It doesn't matter.
But it's the second movie, at least. I mean, maybe there's been more than this. You would think microphones, not mixing the Christmas songs above the dialogue, these really simple, cost-free. Just there's no.
Yes, there's no excuse for some of that stuff. It is interesting to me going back and watching it though, they started with their big one was Splatter Farm, which they did in 1986. That sort of put them on the map, so to speak. But they made Church of the Damned, Hallucinations before that. But Feeders, actually, Blockbuster picked it up because they just needed to fill out their inventory. And because of the popularity of Independence Day, Feeders was made in 1996. The popularity of Independence Day, it became the number one independent title rented at Blockbuster that year.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's as bad as it is now because you look at even on Tubi, if you go on Tubi and look up Feeders and look what the cover art looks like versus what the movie is. And Asylum is very big on that too. So the Asylum Entertainment, but it does not look anything like.
So the cover is some later cover, because if you look
Yeah.
at the cover for the riff tracks, which I didn't listen to, but I saw it on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the original cover, which just has the shitty puppet on the
Yeah.
front. The modern cover is like a CG monster that actually
Yeah.
kind of looks okay. That looks nothing like the thing in
Looks
the movie.
nothing like the thing in the movie, but somehow so it became a popular thing, and then people were running it and laughing at it or doing whatever. And Polonias are very, at least Mark Polonia. I listened to an interview with him where he very much is like, if you're having fun, that's great. That's what I want. There's not that like, and maybe there, I didn't listen to every interview with him ever, but I remember the Suburban Sasquatch guy kind of being like, hey, I know it's silly, but here's how I'm a genius though.
Yeah.
And I think he's just like, we just make, it seems like he has that thing that Joyce Carol Oates has,
Chlamydia?
Hypographia, where it's like, I have to write or I'll die.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I think it's just like, I have to make movies. It doesn't matter. It's the making of them. I don't care how they turn out.
Yeah.
I just need to make a movie. And there's
Yeah,
something that I
just wish
find
you
kind
did
of
it
amazing
better.
by that. Oh, absolutely.
No, it's great. No,
No.
I love that.
But this is garbage. This is terrible. But like I think some of it is just also getting older and looking back at like, I remember when you could just do that. You just get your friends to get like, let's just do a stupid little thing instead of just a podcast,
So this, hey.
No, I'm not shitting. Don't mean to like shit on
it sounds
a
like
podcast.
you're
I'm
shitting
just
on a
saying-
podcast, John.
I'm just saying that like anymore, people are more like, well, let's just make a funny TikTok. These kids today don't know how good they got it.
This movie unlocked a memory of mine, and I was wondering if you know this. Not about my life. It's a
I
universal.
don't know your memories.
Well, I only have like 7, so I probably told you most of them. But like back, so we grew up pre-internet, and like there's a weird kind of how rumors would spread across the country inexplicably, and you don't know how. Like Marilyn Manson took a rib out the blow.
Right? Yeah.
And that wasn't pre-internet, but we didn't get that. So I want to see if you know this. Joy to the world, the blank 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 is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this?
I mean, I only know it from. I mean, I may have heard it beforehand, but my immediate thought is that episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, is there one on The Simpsons?
There's one where Nelson is like, where the teacher is dead. They barbecued her head. What happened to the body?
Okay,
they flushed
yeah.
it down the potty. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So I didn't realize I was on The Simpsons. When I was a kid, it was the New Kids on the Block were the target of that song.
And like I said,
then
I may have heard it before then, but that's just what immediately comes to mind now. My memory is terrible. So
Yeah, I think this was I think they're using, the weird kid meme train in the Nelson part there. I forgot that was on The Simpsons. But yeah, every time this stupid song came on, because it's like a Casio keyboard version of Joy to the World in a lot of this movie. And I'm like, oh, wow, I totally forgot about the New Kids on the Block thing.
Yeah. That's funny.
There was some gender norm stuff too, where it's like the girls are crying, but the boys are laughing because boys don't like the New Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Real men don't eat quiche.
Oh God, yeah.
Those days. So this is a shot on video, and like it doesn't have the same meaning that it does now. Like looks like it was shot on a handy cam. Like it is.
My note is this was filmed on Scotch tape.
Yeah.
It looks like shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of straight to video horror. That if you're into that kind of thing, there's sites or publications. I don't know what they're like. Bleeding Skull that covers that a lot. I have a whole book. This is actually how I thought about this in the first place. I have a whole book of their stuff, and this was in there. And
there's some straight to video that looks kind of okay, and this
is really like shot on video stuff. Like the same kind of quality.
When we open, I mean, I don't even know how to like go in order with this movie, but when we see the alien shoot down alien death rays, it's over dialogue. And the death ray is louder than the dialogue.
Yes.
And it's like this I'm in for something here.
Yeah.
But what other Feeders movies have you seen?
After this, because they're so short, I watched Feeders 1. And at the end of Feeders 1, the world is destroyed.
Okay.
But at Feeders 2, no, it isn't. Because the same guy is there. His hair, by the way, that actor that plays, because this starts with a start of a recap of Feeders 1.
Let me stop you there, because I can be the audience surrogate.
Uh-huh.
This movie starts with, you just saying, there's a guy in an interview talking about, what he's talking about is the events of Feeders 1.
Yes.
Now, later in the movie, when we get a flashback in some kind of red-ish sepia That's from the first movie.
That is from the first movie.
Okay. I was thinking about that. The second thing is we were talking about face blindness on the Patreon episode. By the way, patreon.com/AlexBollen, ALEXXBOLLEN. John and I do something once a month, and it's the giving time of the year. So how about you sign up, you beautiful, beautiful people. But it was definitely the first thing I thought of there. Face blindness wise, I couldn't tell if the guy in the interview booth was the dad, like in the house.
No, okay. So
those are two different actors.
Yes, those are the Polonia brothers.
That's what I was thinking might be it, and that's where their faces were confusing
to me.
They are
twins. And but John McBride is the guy being interviewed. John Polonia plays Bennett from the first one, and in this one it's Mark Polonia playing Alan, even though they look exactly the same.
Second question, and this is more of a comment. The main dad, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, does he look like the dad from Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah, he kind of does, doesn't he? It is funny that it is funny to be, because I think at this point he was like 30, because this was like made in 1998. And it's funny to be 30 years old and still look like you're wearing your dad's clothes. He's a slight little man, and he just is wearing these big baggy clothes, and it looks like he's wearing his dad's clothes.
Yeah, well, 90s fashion was terrible, one. Two, that man looked to be in his late 20s to early 50s. Like, he's got, it is just, and the wife is so in the grasp of the ugliest part of the late 80s, early 90s, even though it's, a little bit later than that, but like, it's just giant hair, really ill-fitting clothes, and is not, she's not here to be flattering, like she's a house mom, like just making presents or whatever. She's not, her tits not to be hanging out, but like, oh boy, is it not like,
well, it's
it is not good.
She's also in Feeders 1, gets killed in Feeders 1, as a different character. Much better hair. Not great, but this is very like mom hair. And she is a mom, but it's like, it's very funny.
No, it's rough.
Like, yeah, that was a popular, like that was a hairstyle you went and go like, give me that.
Her hair looks like if Peggy Bundy stopped trying.
Kind of, yeah. It has a very sort of like retro-y 50s kind of thing to it. Like it's very suburban housewife, which is, I mean, fitting for the character, but it is very funny that was like, because it's not like they were trying to, make a comment on that with the hairstyle. Much of the same way that I think it's hilarious that this movie not only opens with, but is also similar to Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, and that it opens with this recording, like it's an interview and a guy recording talking about like the events of the first movie, and then you see almost the entire first movie.
Yes,
because Silent Night Deadly Night 2 does that. And so I was like, oh, the Christmas horror tradition of doing the exact same movie again.
The framing device of telling the story of the last movie was the most baffling part of this for me,
because it doesn't relate to anything at all.
It doesn't relate to anything. We don't know who he's talking to, if he's talking to anyone. And it doesn't resolve.
No.
Because they tell the end of the story and then they never get back to that interview room, which is very confusing. So the other, so this is a Christmas movie. I think we need to really stress that. Mm-hmm. And we know that because every fucking scene is really bad synth versions of public domain Christmas songs. They're putting up decorations in their house, lovely young suburban family. And apparently Daddy is having some pay issues around Christmas. Who would have thought of something so radical?
Thought of something.
And this is my favorite subplot of the movie, in that there's only one.
Mommy, when is Santa coming?
Oh, in about one more day.
Is he gonna bring lots of toys for us?
Only if Daddy gets paid tomorrow.
Because he's a very Ralph Cramden, like 1950s, the old ball and chain kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But it's fucking Christmas Eve, dude. So you're saying you're getting paid on Christmas, or getting paid on Christmas Eve, and then you have to buy all your toys.
Yep.
Also, you've already bought all your toys. We see it later in extreme detail, like every second of. I know how to wrap presents better after watching this movie.
Yeah, it's called drama. It's conflict. They're adding it in there.
That's I let you and Rob get away with that bullshit last week, but it ain't happening on this one, Sunshine. You only got away with that because we had a guest on and I didn't want Mommy and Daddy to argue in front of them. But no, you will not be saying horse shit
But
like that.
I will say, it does provide setup for possibly the best scene in this movie. There's two contenders, and this one is the scene with the boss is right up there.
You're correct. So the scene with the boss is amazing. But so they've got two kids, and they're both, the little girl's worse than the little boy.
Those are Polonia's real kids. Those are real Polonia's real children.
Because the little boy isn't good, but he's not, like, the little girl's like actively bad.
Yeah, but like I think that's something else I like about it is like, yeah, you just got your kids to be in this movie, and there's part of me that's like, oh, that's a sweet little memory for you to have, rather than thinking about it as like, yeah, these are awful child actors. I think it's more just like, oh, what a fun thing to do with your family.
No, I mean, I agree with you there, but my thought process as someone that was once a child and carries a lot of shame from that time.
Yep, never was.
That maybe you don't have them talk as much.
Oh,
because they're not like carrying plot, but they can be cute saying like, look at the kitty. Like you can have them in scenes, like have your kids in scenes and do kid stuff, but like they're saying stuff related to the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, please let me apologize to everybody that's ever been involved in a movie by referring to the plot of this one. I just don't know how else to word it. The vaguely linear things in this movie.
There was a bit like in the throes of my midlife crisis, I guess, where they're standing at the window like waiting for Santa Claus, and the little boy like just kisses the little girl, his sister, like on the shoulder, and he clearly ad-libbed that, and there was part of that's like, that's kids, my biological clock. I
mean, I gotta tell you, John, I really wish you would have kids, or like,
oh god, no, that's not happening.
Like abduct them for a little while, because like I
should either have children or illegally procure children.
Yes.
Okay.
So
those are the same thing.
Hey, have you ever heard of adoption?
That's not what you're describing.
Yeah, I don't know about. Yeah, sure. Maybe in your left wing lib
Look,
universities, that's what they
right?
teach. No, see, I need one of my close friends to have children so I can be creepy Uncle Alex, and not in like a full creepy, but I mean just like I bring them inappropriate toys, like I kind of like you get kind of mad at me because like I keep letting them do shit they're not supposed to do. Like that's the best position.
Oh no,
and
it's great.
And both my stupid brothers didn't have kids, so like I don't get to be the disruptive uncle force.
No, see that rule. See the trick is you have like a nephew, as I do, that lives in a completely other state halfway across the country, and then you get him those annoying gifts, and you don't have like you're scot-free.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, fart ninjas. Guess who's getting a bunch of fart ninjas?
Yes. Hey, speaking of fart ninjas, there is at least 2, maybe 3 fart jokes in this movie.
I definitely know one. I don't know if there's other ones, but
well, the little boy farts, and then the alien farts at one point.
Okay, I missed the alien fart, but the little boy fart is very loud.
The alien, the alien fart's the same. It's the same because there's no mixing. The alien knocks himself out in the basement, and when he wakes up, he farts.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
The aliens, by the way, we should mention, because so Alan is after all the family stuff, Alan goes to bed.
I'm kind of annoyed that like you're using his name because it's not in the movie until like 54 minutes in.
Fair enough. But so Dad goes to bed and is awoken in the middle of the night by a flying saucer or just some bright lights. And here's what's fascinating, because hearing this noise, and you're seeing outside of his point of view before this, he's even waking up. You're seeing the ships, very CG, crudely CG, but for the time, not bad. I mean, not good.
No, it's
but like
it's serviceable for 1998 and no budget.
A dude doing it himself. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, that as much as I like to dunk on stuff, like that was fine.
It's crappy, but like good job, man. But what I like is, so you just see these ships, and one lands is hovering over the house, and he opens the window, peeks through the blinds, I should say, peeks through the blinds to see what's going on. And then it cuts to the shot of the UFO above the house. Yeah. And then it cuts to shots of aliens being beamed down, none of which he sees. But then it cuts back to him. He's like, is that an airplane? What is he looking at?
Yeah, so
Doesn't
here's
matter.
my
Line of
working
sight
theory.
in this movie does not matter.
Well, I was thinking that's the house next door that the aliens must be above, because they do this later too, where it's above a house and there's no way you would see it from inside the house.
I
or
think it's
where
the same house because when they show the exterior,
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. It doesn't matter.
So we should talk about the aliens. We've in the past I've brought this up before, and I believe the name is Little Ronnie from Mr. Show, Bob and David, the kid that fell in an acid vat and he just looks like beef jerky arms.
Yes, I don't
No, it's
remember the
not
character's
Little
name, but I know who you're talking about. Was it Donnie?
Yeah, it's something like that. I was thinking of Run Ronnie Run. These aliens look like that, but like worse somehow, which is amazing because in the Mr. Show sketch, one, they don't have a big budget, and two, they were trying to
Yes.
make that look shitty, and somehow these look worse.
These are pretty terrible, and they're I think the same ones used in Feeders 1. Because
So
I mean, why have you have them? Why make more? You know, why have
I'm
more?
fine with that, but there's some baffling choices with these aliens. It looks like they put they inflated a balloon, put paper mache around it, and then painted the paper mache. Is what
Yeah.
happens. So here's a couple things. I'm not artistic, in visual arts. I can write a story, but I'm not much of a painter. I can't do stuff. I do know that you can buy, like literally, you could get clear coat kind of nail polish. Put it on the eyes. Why is the eyes the same texture as the rest of the head?
Sure.
Like it is like that. I'm literally proposing the 1998 money, a 97-cent solution
Right.
to make
Yeah.
this slightly more real. And then also, they do close-ups of alien teeth that look really scary, but they're not the same teeth in the alien mouth.
Nope.
No, I'm not saying it for continuity. I'm just saying, why not just use those? You have those teeth. Just put them in the
Big.
puppet. It's not.
Too big. Those are close-up teeth. Those aren't puppet teeth.
But you never see the teeth do anything. So why do that?
Well,
Because
one of them- I
audience
think
at home
the
should know
two-
that all of the attacks happen off camera. So you see the little puppet guy going like, ah,
Yeah.
and then you see somebody going, oh my god, this sucks, and then paint gets thrown at a wall, and it's like, oh, look at that blood.
Yeah, this is
like,
legitimate. This is less bloody than the original.
dude.
I think
All
probably
those
because
flashbacks look like such a more interesting movie.
oh no, it's not. But
Okay, yeah.
there's a
Well,
lot
the
more sort
flashbacks
of driving
look
and
that way.
parking. But there's definitely more gore when the mom, the actress who plays the mom, gets killed in the first one. Yeah, it like eats into her, whatever. Which is funny because these aliens are tiny, and so the idea that they're like, oh, you know what I should do is take down these giant things rather than being like just eating squirrels.
And they're not even just tiny. They're tiny with really scrawny arms. Like
Yeah.
there's no menace. Like at one point their eyes glow and I'm like, oh, maybe they're like some kind of psychic, but no, it's just one scene they made their eyes glow for no reason.
Yeah, because it's cool. Well, same thing where like when it eventually like goes to attack Alan and his wife, it hits its head and gets knocked out, and it's like that's your big bad. Is you did that, but it's fun. Who cares? I'm just making a movie. It's fun.
Yeah, I guess that's the big question is how funny did they think this was? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter as long as
I mean,
you know.
yeah, there's specific jokes that they thought were funny. I think that was meant to be like that. That joke wasn't thought of like beyond. Like, oh, is this diminishing the power of our villain or something? It's more like, wouldn't it be funny if that happened? Yeah, that would be funny. Let's do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's one of the jokes. Because I was hoping I wrote one down. Because there's some, oh, oy vey, my wife. Let me tell you about my wife stuff. So this is the put upon wife. The guy goes, hey, what do you get a woman who has everything? And the wife sassily says, more. Except she doesn't say more. Let me perform it exactly how it happens in the movie. What do you get a woman who has everything more? It is
Pretty much. But like,
there's a little so fucking bad.
There's a little twinkle in the eye that made me happy. That she more just like this
Sure.
is. It made it seem like less like I'm joking with my husband. It's more like don't laugh at how funny this joke is when you deliver it.
Yeah.
Like like SNL trying not to break kind of thing.
It reminds me of that old joke. What's the difference between a good joke and a bad joke timing?
Nice.
Skillful.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, wait, that's not funny. Oh no. I get it. It's still not funny. But
There's a lot of scenes of the aliens, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say stalking their prey.
and laughing-ish at
Kind
them.
of, it takes them forever to land and do stuff. And I like that they're much like Star Wars, that the aliens control panel is like mixing board levers and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
which is
old
not
school,
form-fitting for their tiny little scrawny arms, but whatever. But yeah, they're constantly like oh, they're going to get into his house, but he puts up a window. He like makes sure a window is shut, and they're like, oh no, we can't possibly get inside now. Which is very funny, having just watched No One Will Save You. Like how impotent these aliens are.
The audience at home needs to understand this movie is the only way you can describe it is it's 90% establishing shots, but the establishing shots don't establish anything, if that makes sense. It's just like the kind of, well, the camera's here, we're now filming. Like, it's just like, there's one spot where we're watching the wife wrap presents for the kids. And it's just like they set the camera up, and then you look at the movie, you look at that scene for a second, and then she starts rapping, and but that's it. That's the whole thing. And then it cuts to like, oh, look, the kids are watching TV. Set the camera up, watch the kids. Then you watch the TV. It's all established shots, but like nothing comes of it. It's like, yes, you've established it. Now do a thing.
There is like, there's part of me that wonders that based on the popularity of Feeders 1, because this was made sometime a little bit later, where it's like they might have had, and this is all speculation, just based on some things I know, that there might have been like okay, we'll buy this movie, we can distribute this movie, but it has to be so long. Like X amount of minutes.
Yeah.
Because like there's recently, so I've talked before about this web series turned film movie that the film group I was in, Cinema Case, made called Kakor. It was originally designed as this web series, whatever, and one of the people that shepherded it to its current completed state, I guess we'll call it, released a previous movie called Metal Messiah. He was going to go through the same guy to do the distribution for Kakor, but the guy's like, the movie needs to be X, like so long, and we're like 10 minutes short. So he was talking to me about like stuff we could put in to make the length or whatever like that. And it got me thinking of, and we may have talked about this already, but Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey. The credits for that movie are like 10 minutes long because it's just full of outtakes and scenes that weren't even in the movie because they had to, it's got to be so long. And I think in this one, they just went, well, let's just stretch out everything. Oh, you know what? I filmed my kids playing with the wrapping paper. Let's add that in there. We need to pad this out because there's like 20 minutes of movie in this thing.
Well, that's a lot of the interview stuff where he goes into remembering the first movie. They were just trying to get it to a small amount. Now, so there's this your old movie, Kakor. Really funny if you say it in a Norm Macdonald voice. It's a crack whore movie. Now, are these conversations recent?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have an idea to make your movie longer. And I had this idea years ago, and I never thought I'd be able to use it. Well, one, because I'm not in movies. But I always loved the idea, and people started doing it years later, where you film scenes that aren't in the movies, but you film them as bloopers. So, like you have bloopers of, like, the ninja fight in the movie. And it's like, oh, man, you actually kicked me in the stomach, that thing. So, for you guys, being significantly older, all get in the same costumes and then do a blooper run or whatever over the credits of just like noticeably, what's that, 15 years ago or whatever? Right. Like
almost 20.
Yeah. It'd be really funny if everybody in the same costumes, even if they don't fit anymore. Just because you could stretch, 7-8 minutes out of that.
That
just
is
doing the
very,
same
very
scenes.
funny.
But it's obviously filmed on like exponentially better equipment,
Right. Yeah. That would be hilarious, actually. And I would get you a writing credit for that.
Oh, please. I hope
that was my solution, was like, because we filmed a bunch of like stupid stuff, like Kakor doing ads for stuff. Like Fire, try some today or whatever. But like, just put that in the credits. Just pad out the credits like Master of Disguise. But I think that is hilarious.
Yeah, no, pitch it to everybody. I want a writing credit. I also just want you to put your movie out because that's fun. But one thing I want to talk about that is slightly in this movie, but maybe you know the answer to this. Because I'm bad at spatial awareness sometimes. Like, that's not the way I want to word it. Like TikTok, all the cameras are flipped because people do it on iPhones, and iPhones kind of naturally flip the thing.
Yeah.
So when they're in their car, it looks like they're on the wrong side of the car.
Yes.
And I can't do that in my head. Like I can't
drive
make my brain do
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
Why in movies, when people read books, do they turn the page the wrong way?
I don't know.
They turn it from the back of the book to the front. Now, this guy, I thought was doing that. And then, but I realized, like, no, he's doing oh man, I'm falling asleep. I wasn't even paying attention to this thing I've read 30 times.
I was like, wait, was that Jesus or was that? Oh, it was Jesus. Okay.
Is the reason they're turning it the wrong way that I can't do, like, the film is flipped in, like, much like an iPhone? You've made movie. Tell me, John.
Well, I mean, like, there's you can flip the image in post. You can, I mean, I think it was
I know, but why is it so frequent in movies that it looks like they're turning the page the wrong
I don't
way?
know. I think it's just a way to like to actively read and have motion without like running your finger along words and being like, Same way that like if I've been doing this a lot lately.
Sorry, I think you're missing my point here.
Yeah.
Is they're turning it from the back to the front instead of the front to the back.
Well, it's the same way. Like anytime you're watching a movie where we're like they're at dinner or something, watch no one eat. People just sort of like shove stuff around their plate, and I'm a huge fan. I've been noticing that a lot lately.
No, I noticed that when like people take drinks and the cup's obviously empty. But this one
that
is just
drives me
like,
crazy. Well, we talked about that in the
but the book thing drives me crazy because like, have you never read a book? I realize that it's probably just the image being flipped.
I mean, that could be the case. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons for it. I'm familiar with the practice much. I'll keep an eye out.
I want you to, and I want you to report back. Audience at home, you should understand this movie's like an hour long, and most of it, there's nothing happens.
And most of it is wrapping presents.
I've got to talk to John about random shit, and you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it. Hey, by the way, Merry Christmas, John.
No, Merry Christmas. That's right. This will come out on Christmas. So happy
Day.
holidays. Yeah.
This is like the birth of our little baby savior in the manger.
Baby
so let's talk about the priest that's reading the Bible.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right. So one, horror movie terms, I believe, proves my point about the priesthood. Because horror movies generally is they kill bad people first. So I think by that rules, this priest is obviously a child molester.
Okay. I mean, that's a leap. He could be like,
he could be
a
Protestant.
drug
I don't know. I was
addict
raised Catholic.
or anything else. But I suppose Catholic, that sort of leads to it. But
yeah. I was just thinking like it's a good thing for me to bring up on Christmas is my intense hatred of the followers of that guy.
Sure. It's just funny. Like we spend so much time with that priest, and not in a way that's like building up tension or in a way that's like psycho, like, oh, what a freak out. This isn't our main character. It's just, what's this guy going to do? What is he doing? He's dead now. Okay.
And it never shows, and we don't know how they're related to the family or if they are related at all. Because here's the thing, like we first meet an old lady that gets murdered by the aliens. Like I think the aliens kill her cat first and then kill her.
Okay.
But like, that's quick. We meet her for a second. She's talking on the phone. We cut back to this priest about 1,600 times. Like there's a lot of time spent with this man.
But that is an important thing that can't be overlooked, the cat death. And not just because I like cats. But,
you mean you're the little fluffer nutter? Little fluffy?
Well, when the thing kills a guy, it's one of the first times the thing's eyes glow because it's that same like cutout shot of it you'll see several times.
Yeah.
But when the woman comes downstairs to discover her dead cat, it is just a still of a cat with some red on it.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Like, because so much of this movie is like going and his philosophy, Polonius' philosophy is kind of like, going to war with the army you have. It's like, we only have this much money. Let's make it happen. And at one point, like you see a clump of hair like stuck to a box with blood, like fall up. But when it comes time to they get a puppet? Did they like artfully try to shoot around it to like, just, here's her reaction? No. It's a still, and it's not even like of a full cat. It's like a close up of the cat cropped squarely at the bottom and then some red on it.
Yeah. Which I agree with because I mean, I think, the one mental health issue I don't have is cat ownership. So I'm all about the cat being murdered directly on screen. And audience at home, just as I develop my mythos over the years doing this show, I adore cats. I really do like them a lot. I can't have them in my apartment. And I thought the one mental health issue I don't have is cat ownership was really funny. So I just said
because it's true. It is true. Like it is. My brain is ruined.
But
yeah, I just didn't want to skip over that amazing special effect and just that you did that. And they went, it's fine. And I love it.
The other kind of not as amazing as that, but we cut to there's a guy working in a pallet factory, I guess, stealing money.
Oh yeah, yes, I completely forgot about that guy.
We never met him before. We don't see him afterwards. So he's stealing money, and then he goes to the kind of factory floor, and the alien murders him. But it's like he gets pulled away by the alien, he gets pulled off screen. He's like holding onto like a pillar for dear life, and there's blood, and they just throw blood at a wall.
Yes.
It's really funny because these things weigh 16 grams. I mean, there's no, what is pulling him? How is this happening? Like, it is the most like, there's the least grounded in reality of any. And this movie, spoiler alert, this movie features fucking Santa Claus, and this is the least grounded in reality part.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no consistency to how the aliens work in terms of like, because they are, when they're tiny and whatever, they think they're a doll and they just pick them up and throw them away. That's fine. Like, if you want to run it, but then later, yeah, in other scenes, they're dragging bodies around and it just doesn't, okay. But whatever, it looks cool, so let's do it.
Let's talk about his boss.
Okay, this is the best. This is just one of the best scenes in cinema. So Alan being upset by what he thinks he might have seen, and this flashlights is wondering maybe if there's aliens, and so he asked Jeeves.
I was going to say that feels like an Alta Vista or an Ask Jeeves
or
situation.
Lycos or something.
Yeah.
Just starts reading out loud what he's finding online, which is like what a child would do, which I think is amazing. Yes. But we can't film the screen. It looks weird. So just have him read it out loud, and then his boss enters.
Parker, what do aliens have to do with insurance claims anyway?
Nothing, sir.
That's right, you stupid son of a bitch! Get back to work or spend the new year on the unemployment line!
Yes, Mr. Hatton. Merry Christmas.
I hate Christmas! And you're not leaving early either!
No problem. I better get back to work.
You asshole. You better!
He kind of looks like, I don't know if you watched any of the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, but that David Lee Hart that's on there.
Huge amount. Who?
That David Lee Hart, he's like the weird ventriloquist guy that's on there sometimes.
No, I don't remember. Yeah.
All right. Well, he looks like that guy, and it's like a white version of that guy, and it's very, very funny. But it's also he just looks like a Tim and Eric performer, like one of the weirdos they dug up. But he is the heart and soul of this picture. Like, he's the first person that, like, as ridiculous as it is, like, he has emotion and range. And he is like, I'm cartoonish.
If I respond to you, and perfect for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right, you stupid son of a bitch. I hate Christmas, and you're not leaving early. I don't pause movies, especially these shitty ones, to write stuff down. I mean, I do, but like it's so rare. And like this, I need to write this out, because if I forget to talk about this gorgeous piece of, because I mean the thing is, he's not like the part that's like remarkable. He's a competent actor. Like he's not doing great. He's not, but like
he's emoting.
It's not like the way the wife goes like, yeah, that's right, husband. I got my Christmas present for you, and it's my pussy or whatever. Like, no, it's like he did stuff, and it's so strange because like it's the worst writing ever. And
God, I wish that was the actual line though. Like now you've ruined this movie for me, because it would be so funny if that actress in that tone said that so line.
Great. Yeah.
But no, he's absolutely fantastic, and like he brings so much more energy that's been missing from this entire movie. But also just like I think I can't imagine that an adult human being wrote that like, no, this is how humans act.
Dude, it's
like that's a child. That's amazing.
No, it's not a child. It's Neil Breen.
I suppose.
You know Neil Breen, where he goes, I have found all the crooks and the government, and then the government. He sounds like David Lynch in my impression. I found all the crooks and the government and transcendental meditation. He's got a Neil Breen kind of like, there's no subtlety. I'm just saying facts. I am like if you could go into a lab and melt down all the autistics of the world and make them some kind of like some kind of super autistic, like a Captain Planet of autism. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. Trains, sirens, heart. No, and what's amazing, and I think something that endears me to them as well, they're not even like, I don't necessarily want to call them auteurs, because they don't kind of have that same, like, they're in the movie, like one of the Polonias is in the movie, sure. But it doesn't have that same vibe of like, if you join our Patreon, we did a whole series on reviews of movies from people that like wrote, directed, and starred in, that are usually like about either how great I am or how put upon I am. That is such, like, if you've seen The Room, you know, Tommy Wiseau is constantly attacked from all angles. Is it these people just made a movie and they're just in it. And I think that's something that endears me to them as well. It's not about how like, I'm actually the toughest and coolest guy in the world, but no one appreciates it. It's just, no, I'm just a schlub, and I'm going to see some aliens, and then Santa's going to save me.
Yeah, for whereas incompetent this movie is, the makers come across well. Like there's no gross stuff. Like there's a little bit of like kind of misogynist, like, you know, the old ball and chain, but it was in the 90s. Like
yeah, exactly. Like there's something out of the realm.
Yeah, it's like it's almost wholesome in a way.
there's a certain earnestness to the whole thing that I think is enjoyable as well. Like for as much as, you know, we talked about like them wanting to like pad out the movie to make it this, there's not like a lot of cynicism in there, and is gory. I mean, their first movie was called Splatter Farm, but like this isn't like some exploitation gore or, you know, oh, let's use this as an excuse to get some sexy lady show some side boob or something. It's just, no, we want to make a picture and we have friends. Let's go do that.
So, oh boy, I wrote down one more line of this because I was trying to find evidence of the wife being a terrible actor. I think you've been drinking too much eggnog.
Oh yeah.
But the best part about that scene is like the Calvin's dad is lounging on the bed in like a kind of sexy pose. Again, it's really funny. The other thing we need to talk about in this whole like kind of area is one, the dog gets murdered and never followed up on. Also, why did that dog have a cast on its leg?
Because in real life it had a cast on its leg, so there's just like a there's a throwaway line of like, don't blame the road. And I feel bad for that dog. I hope he healed up and lived a good rest of his life.
Yeah, no, he's long dead by now. Don't worry about it. Rotting in hell like with the rest of the dogs.
Yay, cats.
At this point, they cut to outside. No, cats go to like super hell. They cut to two adults having a sincere discussion about whether they still believe in Santa Claus.
Okay, that is amazing. It's the couple, the mom and dad, Alan and his wife.
You believe in Santa?
I don't know.
How is that an answer? How is that? I think it's like, I used to, but how he prefaces it with, I don't know. You just bought the gifts.
It's like do you believe in God? Like that's the answer, but do you believe in Santa? And it's baffling for about 4 minutes. Because then 4 minutes later, we cut to the aliens attacking the real Santa.
Yeah.
And I think the aliens murder one of the reindeers, and Santa crashes into Calvin's dad's backyard.
Yeah. It also murders the elf that's just like riding shotgun. Like he's riding like in the speed, not the speeders. My inner Star Wars nerd is dying. What are the snow speeder things that they used to wrap around the walker's legs?
I think they're just called snow speeders.
Are they? Okay. Because in that, like, it's set up the same way where there's a guy in front and there's a guy they're sitting back to back. And that's how Santa and this elf are in that same like snow speeder configuration. And they kill that guy. But so I guess in this universe where the planet has blown up and is no longer blown up, Santa's existence is questionable. It's not weird to be an adult and go, I'm not sure if Santa exists.
It's fucking baffling. And I do have an answer in universe here though, because they keep cutting back to the animatronic Santa sleeping under the Christmas tree. I wonder if they're just so fucking stupid that they're like, it's moving though, so it's gotta be alive. So maybe Santa's real. They're Southern somehow.
I also like, by the way, they are very Pennsylvania.
Oh, I know. I just did a weird Southern accent for no reason. Oh, by the way, wait, sorry. Just very quickly, very small aside. Listening to a Brandon Sanderson audiobook, I don't care about him as a person, writes good books.
Right, whatever.
But the lady that's reading it has a very good neutral American accent in the future. But every now and again, you can hear the Philadelphia come out. So you'd be like, and then Santa came down and had some water. And it's not that obvious, but it's just, I'm sensitive to it because I grew up there and it's fucking hilarious to me. Please continue the point that has anything to do with what we're talking about.
But I also like, just before that, you talk about looking at the Santa thing and thinking it's real. I was just thinking about the amount of time spent looking at that Santa. And that there's a lot of time spent showing a cartoon on TV and the kids watching the TV. That
reminded me of Skinamarink. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. But to be fair, miraculously, this movie has lower resolution than Skinamarink, which I didn't think was possible.
But so Santa crashes, and the family is attacked by the aliens at this point, and it's not that exciting. Like dad,
attacked is even a strong word. They're menaced by them because they are easily defeatable.
Yeah, and they shake the camera a little bit, and the mom's like, "Oh no, get on the bed. That's terrible."
Yeah, and they just set up random color lights and fog that have nothing to do with the scene.
Yeah, Alan doesn't know what's going on, but there's a guy in trouble in his yard who's dressed like Santa, so he goes to save him, and brings him inside, and the guy he's like tries to pull off his beard. He's like, "That's real, Alan. How do you know my name?" never mind that. Let's fight aliens.
If I can just correct you just a tiny little bit here, John.
Please do.
Can you make your voice exponentially worse? Because that is like, here, check this out. I have a high nasal voice. Ho, ho, ho. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Because that guy didn't. That guy did some weird, like, I don't even fucking know. He's doing like a Mork impression. It was this.
Yeah. But I am always a fan of, and your ho, ho, ho reminded me of this, of Angry Santa, like Paul F. Tompkins on Comedy Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Of just a jerk,
Yeah.
just like pissed off
really
at
fun, yeah.
And this Santa had little elements of that because eventually, like after he rallies Santa and there's time to kick some alien ass, the aliens set upon Alan and Santa pulls out a laser gun and starts shooting this. It's something the elves came up with for next year. And then there's just an action scene of Santa blasting elves with a laser. Or not elves, sorry, of these aliens.
It is full out Danny DeVito. And then anyway, I started blasting. And it's supposed to be funny and like ironic or whatever you want to call it, satirical, but it's just dumb.
It's just dumb, but like, I love that they went for it. Same way that like my bar is so low that because before this happens, we've cut back to the guy with great hair telling the story of Feeders 1. And the fact that they bothered to do, apparently in Feeders 1, there's a whole thing where like the Feeders eventually like replicate his buddy and he thinks he kills the alien that's replicated his buddy, but he kills his buddy. And it's like, that's a twist for this movie that is amazing that you did that. You know what I mean? Like for how dumb the rest of this is. The fact that you put like 2 seconds of thought into making this interesting is mind blowing to me. I'm
still not convinced that they're not the same person. Because I thought you were going to agree with me, because my original supposition is that the copied person is the dad in this movie, because they look exactly the same. Yeah, I'm like, no, wait, is that what? No, I know that. I get it now.
Clever. Yeah. Lower that bar.
It's early onset dementia. My brain doesn't work.
But it's because this movie makes no sense. But like, it's like, because my expectations are so low, I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at this happening. This is amazing.
I mean, yeah, Santa beats the shit out of people. Oh, and then Santa gives a present. He's like, well, this is what I call a naughty people present, which is just a bomb that they drop on the alien ship. But they go to the alien ship and
like it's the IRA. I love it.
But the aliens are giggling when they see the thing. So it's like, were they never giggling?
They're always giggling, but they're super. I mean, they're getting a present. How fun is that?
No, but I think they were aware they're about to blow up.
You know, maybe they're like twisted like the Joker.
Man, I saw it in their facial expressions. they definitely were afraid. Okay, so then this movie, in the most infuriating bit of bad writing, ends with "It's all just been a dream."
Or has it?
Where does this interview fit in if it's a dream?
No, where does it fit in if it's not a dream?
Well, if it's the real world, we're cutting to, yes, a different story, but we're cutting to the last time they came to Earth. See, and I'm not saying it makes sense. It's not. But like there's the tiniest little whisper of sense that like in a documentary style, this is cutting back to, well, you know, the last time this happened. If it's a dream sequence, it's fucking baffling.
See, I just took it as Santa magic. Santa's like, hey, you're asleep. It's fine. I'm Santa. So I think it all actually happened. He just got Santa. Santa roofied him, basically.
Oh, so the dog's still dead. The priest is still dead.
That's my take. Yeah.
As long as the priest is still dead, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And then in the end, the dad finally gets to open the last present. Finally, something for dad. And the alien pops out of the camera. It's a big, oh boy. No.
Oh,
how did an alien not pop out of someone's stomach this whole movie? Like this, you know, given that.
Because that's complicated to do.
No, I mean, you would just see, literally you see a dress shirt on the ground and the thing pops out. Like,
oh, sure.
You know, yeah.
I don't know. We have one day to shoot this movie.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, one day is probably, that is everything I have to say about this movie. What about you, John?
What else can you say about it? It's awful, but like there is a weird wholesomeness to it that I'm drawn to, and I'm curious about more of. I don't want to sit through more of their movies, but I want to read about them. I want to learn more about.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
because I think he's the person behind Cocaine Shark. I think that's like a hired gun thing. I don't know if he wrote it, but he's directing it because he does like for hire stuff, but he still makes his own movies as well. But I don't think that's one that he wrote and directed.
Because Cocaine Shark like has production value. I mean, not that it's good, but it's like it looks like a movie. Yeah.
But it is. I also, there's a part of me that's also interested in watching them get better, if that's even true. But you know what I mean? Like, because they just made it. You know what I mean? It's not like they went to film school or like, oh, I'm going to study the works of Godard. And really, no, they just want to put together a movie. And so they just learned by doing. And so did they actually learn? Or is it just, we're going to do the same thing again and again and again and again? But yeah, no, he directed Cocaine Shark.
Fuck yeah. Don't watch this movie. I mean, it's fine. If you're one of those people that likes bad movies, watch this movie. But if you're not,
watch it with a group of friends, whatever. Like, don't just be alone in a dark room watching this movie unless. Yeah,
I forgot that Friends exists. So yeah. I guess if you like have people that
if you're Ross or Rachel, check it out.
Yeah. John, do you have anything that you've watched recently that you'd like to recommend to the audience?
Yeah, a couple of things. Feeder's one, obviously. No, but I watched this very bizarre but sweet Christmas movie called Comfort and Joy, by Bill Forsyth, not the actor, but a film director. And it's a movie sort of based on, there was a war in Scotland in like, I don't know, in Edinburgh, but in the 80s, like there was an ice cream turf war. And it turns out it was about like drug dealing. But this is a movie about a radio personality that gets trapped in this like ice cream turf war about actually selling ice cream. And it's quiet and sweet, and I really enjoyed that. And then on the complete opposite end, I watched this movie called Adam Chaplin, which is not good, but much like this, it's a completely like no budget movie. But what budget they had, they spent on blood. It's like Fist of the North Star meets Dead Alive meets The Crow.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mandy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
but it's like, it's
kiddie
just
pools of blood. Yeah.
It's just a dude who like his girlfriend is murdered, and somehow he forms an alliance with a demon that lives in his arm that demands blood. And so he just ends up like punching and kicking people into piles of bloody goo. Kind of like, and it's shot on digital video, and it's colored very strange. But they spent the money on blood and weird effects, and so I gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah.
So if you're into that kind of stuff, go check that out. If you just want like a good, decent movie, watch Comfort and Joy. How about you? Any recommendations?
Yes, I have two. The Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials. They made 3. I won't give anything away, but they're really fun. If you're a fan of the show and you haven't, if you kind of lapsed, come back. It's good times. But on a very surprised to enjoyed the movie, and I want to recommend it in a way that will make the movie experience better than the one I had, is I finally got around to watching Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And it is pretty damn good under this auspice. Movies are too long, and James Mangold allowed this movie to be too long. So there is a Mariana Trench level of a fucking lull at about the, second act. Like, it is just, the momentum dies to the point I looked at the screen and go, oh my God, there's a fucking hour 15 left. So I recommend wholeheartedly, when you get that feeling, stop the movie, watch it in 2 chunks. Because the first act is breakneck, super fun action. It's Indiana Jones. It's really good. Like, it's not really good, but it's an action dumb adventure serial. And it's, and that picks up again in the third act. But there's just like, and not even the second act is bad. It's just, it doesn't have the momentum the whole movie. And I would have really liked it better if I went, I'll just pick this up tomorrow. So instead of having, but it's super good. His name is
Harrison Ford,
Lars Eriksson, Hans Niemann, Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen, he like actually acts in this, which I'm not used to him doing that. He usually just like, I'm handsome and cool, so I just gotta do this. But he speaks in German in part of it, and it's so funny to hear his accent in German, if that makes sense. Like you hear Sala returns, slight spoiler, but like that was really fun to see John Rhys Davies. Good times.
I still have it. Where did you watch it, or where is it available?
It just came in on Disney Plus. You'll like it. It's just, don't do it in one setting. It's just, there's no positives come from like raw dogging this whole movie in a row.
Yeah. It's less like a current version of a series I like, because that's like, obviously like so often that's terrible, but just like how crummy the last one was that like, I don't want another one.
So I'll put it this way. The first act of this movie, before that lull, I was thinking this is the third best one in the series. Like to me, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade are tied for first, and this is third. Or second or whatever. Like, but then that lull happened. I'm like, shit. All right, now this makes things complicated. But like that first act is, it's really fun. It's just fast, and you buy Indy as an old man still being, he's spry in quotes. Like he's not doing like dumb, like there's some dumb shit, but like it's believable that someone that looks like him could do this stuff. It's super interesting. Hey, so John, what do you want to watch next week? And by next week, I mean next episode.
I would like to watch a movie about. You know what? I don't want to watch something about someone being free. Is what I want. I don't want to see freedom. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm going to wait for the summer for Independence Day. So
I was okay.
Yeah,
so I was going to suggest Born Free, but it sounds like you want to go like the exact opposite.
Yeah, I feel like something more like Captive. I feel like getting cozy.
I have an idea. We could watch that episode of the Punisher TV show where he's in prison and beats the shit out of everybody.
That's perfect. I didn't watch any of that, so that would make sense, great.
Oh, you know what we also do is watch a real movie, like something by the director of Dune.
Oh, yes.
And I'm calling it that because I don't know how to say his name. We can watch Prisoners.
Yes. They announced Dune 2 coming out. And so why not celebrate that with some of Denis Villeneuve, Dennis Villiers.
So he is Canadian. So I'm going with Denis
disgusting.
Villeneuve because if he's from the Frenchy part of Canada, I feel like I'm close. If he's not from the Frenchy part of Canada, fuck if I know.
Well, whatever. Anyway, it's got Wolverine in it, so it's going to be good.
Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays Detective Loki. So this is straight up my alley. Mysterio,
Paul Dano.
Loki, Paul Dano, a.k.a. The Riddler, Hugh Jackman, a.k.a. a huge jacked man.
Big jack off. Yeah, no. So yes, we're gonna check that out. That's currently streaming on Netflix. So if you would like to watch it before we do or after we do, you can find it there. Excellent. And please remember we have a Patreon, patreon.com/AlexBollen, ALEXXBOLLEN. I swear that's not just for me. It's an old website. It goes to John too. So, you know, if you like the good one, he gets it too. We are equally rich based on that Patreon. Help us get even richer. Yeah, I mean, we both get like $10 every month. So like, you know, let's try to get that shit raining. I've been getting cents. Yeah. Well, hey, look, I run the thing. You've been paying me in loonies and toonies. There's an 80% Alex B running this shit tax. Okay, all right. So we will see you in a fortnight. Goodbye. Goodbye.